Owen Harper, 28, is a mid-level back-end developer at a tech firm, a reserved and painfully straightforward guy with no girlfriend and friends, mostly confined to online forums. He lives in a cluttered suburban house with his younger sister Laurie and their gruff father, surrounded by stacks of old computer parts and the faint hum of failing fluorescent lights. Owen's life is a predictable loop of code, coffee, and solitude, his only excitement the occasional late-night Reddit thread. His company, a mid-sized software outfit, decides to reward top performers with a corporate retreat to Seattle. Owen's recent triumph on a bug-riddled project earns him a spot among the Elite Four. He's the only man. The others are women. Rachel, the effervescent corporate culture ambassador with a smile that could sell sand in a desert. Scarlett, whose sharp wit cuts like a knife wrapped in velvet. And Jade, quiet but piercing, her gaze holding secrets she never shares. The night before the flight, Laurie tries to help him pack, rolling her eyes at his mismatched socks and faded t-shirts. "You're going to embarrass us all," she teases, folding a pair of khakis with exaggerated care. But in his usual rush, Owen grabs the wrong bag, a tattered gym duffel stashed in the closet instead of the sleek suitcase Laurie prepared. He's too glued to his phone, thumbing through lines of code, to notice the swap. At the airport, he tosses the duffel onto the conveyor belt, oblivious to the ticking time bomb he's carrying. Landing in Seattle, he checks into a chic downtown hotel, its glass walls reflecting the gray drizzle outside. Exhausted, he unzips the duffel on the crisp white bedspread, expecting order. Instead, he freezes. No dress shirts, no slacks, no shaving kit, just a pair of mud-crusted running shoes, a dented water bottle, and a rank workout outfit reeking of sweat and regret from his last half-marathon. A cold sweat breaks out on his forehead, his stomach lurching. This isn't just a wardrobe malfunction. It's a full-blown identity crisis in nylon and polyester. Desperate, he texts Laurie, but she's 3 hours behind, already snoring into her pillow. He paces the room, the carpet rough under his socks, panic clawing at his chest. A sharp knock jolts him from his spiral. It's the girls, their voices overlapping in concern. Rachel bursts in first, her blonde ponytail bouncing, eyes wide. "Owen, you look like you've seen a server crash. What's wrong?" He mumbles the disaster, face burning as he gestures to the pathetic pile of gym gear. Scarlett leans against the doorframe, arms crossed, a wick grin spreading. So the coding wizard forgot his wizard robe. Shocking. Jade slips in behind them, her dark hair framing a face that's all calm analysis. "We can fix this," she says softly, but her tone carries an edge of inevitability. They swarm his room, their energy electric, their perfumes mingling with the stale hotel air. Rachel, ever resourceful, rummages through her suitcase and pulls out a set of silk pajamas shorts and a camisole in a soft blush pink, the fabric shimmering under the overhead light. "It's clean, and it'll do for tonight," she declares, holding it up like a dare. Owen's throat tightens. "You're joking, right? I can't wear that." But the alternatives are grim. Sleep in his travel-worn jeans or brave the torrential rain for a store that's already closed, as Rachel points out with a sympathetic shrug. Scarlett, relishing his discomfort, smirks. "What's the matter, Harper? Afraid you look too good." Her words sting, but there's a spark in her eyes that makes him pause. Jade adds, almost conspiratorially, "It's just us. No one else will know." Reluctantly, he takes the pajamas, the fabric cool and slippery against his calloused fingers. In the bathroom, he strips down, the fluorescent light harsh on his pale skin. Slipping into the shorts, he feels the hem brush his thighs, the camisole clinging slightly to his chest. The mirror reflects a stranger, his stubbled jaw and tousled hair at odds with the delicate pink, but there's a flicker of something else, something unsettlingly intriguing. He adjusts the straps, the silk whispering against his skin, and steps out. The girls erupt into laughter, but it's warm, almost affectionate. Rachel claps her hands. "You're a vision, like a tech bro gone rogue in a rom-com." Scarlett chimes in, yeah, if rom-coms starred guys who blush this hard. Even Jade's lips twitch into a rare smile. It's unexpected, she says, her eyes lingering a beat too long. To lighten the mood, Rachel orders pizza, and they drag chairs from their room into his, the space now alive with their chatter and the patter of rain against the windows. The pizza arrives, greasy and aromatic, and for the first time in years, Owen feels a thread of connection to people beyond his screen. Scarlett teases him about the camisole straps slipping, and he shoots back a shaky joke about her caffeine addiction, earning a genuine laugh that makes her eyes crinkle. As the night deepens, the rain drums a steady beat, and Owen, still self-conscious but oddly buoyant, realizes this trip might unravel more than just his wardrobe. The wrong suitcase isn't just a blunder, it's a catalyst, pulling him toward an edge he never knew he was teetering on. He falls asleep on the stiff hotel bed, the silk cool against his skin, dreaming of rain-soaked streets and faces he can't quite place. The morning after the suitcase fiasco, Seattle's sky still a brooding gray, the rain hammering the hotel windows like it's personally offended. Owen wakes up tangled in the blush-pink silk pajamas Rachel lent him, the fabric clinging to his skin in a way that feels both alien and oddly comforting. His first instinct is to rip them off, but a knock at the door interrupts his panic. It's Rachel, her hair damp from the storm, holding a steaming cup of coffee like a peace offering. Rise and shine, Harper. We need to figure out what to do about your wardrobe situation. He stammers, still half asleep, the memory of last night's humiliation burning fresh. I can't keep wearing your stuff, he mutters, but Rachel weighs him off with a bright smile. Relax. For tonight, at least, you're stuck with it. Stores are closed, and this rain isn't letting up. She pauses, then adds with a wink, unless you want to brave the flood in your gym shorts. Scarlett appears behind her, arms crossed, her smirk as sharp as ever. Yeah, Owen, be our night gladiator in silk. It's either that or sleep in your socks. Her words sting, but there's a playful edge that makes him wonder if she's enjoying this a little too much. Jade lingers in the doorway, her dark eyes assessing him with a quiet intensity that makes him shift uncomfortably. With no other options and the storm outside roaring like a beast, Owen caves. Rachel hands him another set from her suitcase, a loose-fitting t-shirt in soft grey and matching shorts that feel impossibly light, the fabric sliding against his skin like water. He retreats to the bathroom, the mirror reflecting his flushed face and the unfamiliar silhouette of the clothes. The t-shirt hangs off his shoulders, the shorts riding higher on his thighs than he's used to, and for a moment he sees not himself but a blurred version of someone bolder, someone freer. His heart races, a mix of dread and curiosity bubbling up. When he steps out, the girls are sprawled on his bed, pizza boxes already open, the smell of cheese and pepperoni filling the room. Rachel claps her hands, delighted. Look at you. Almost like you belong in a fashion shoot. Scarlett snickers, more like a thrift store clearance rack, but I'll give you points for effort. Jade, ever the observer, tilts her head. It's not bad, Owen. You look lighter. The teasing stings at first, but as they dig into the pizza, the atmosphere shifts. The girls' laughter is warmer now, less pointed, and Owen finds himself laughing too, a rusty sound he hasn't heard in months. Rachel regales them with stories of past retreats gone wrong, team-building exercises that ended in tears, a manager who got lost in the woods for hours. Scarlett chimes in with her own dry commentary, and even Jade cracks a rare smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners. They pass around a bottle of cheap wine from the minibar, the buzz loosening Owen's tongue. For the first time in years, he doesn't feel like the odd man out among his colleagues, he feels included. The rain outside crescendos, thunder rumbling like a distant drum, but inside, the room glows with a strange intimacy. Rachel leans closer, her knee brushing his as she reaches for another slice, and he catches the faint scent of her perfume, something floral and sharp. Scarlett catches his eye and raises an eyebrow, as if daring him to comment, but he just smiles, a small, hesitant thing. Jade, noticing the shift, offers a quiet toast. "To unexpected adventures," she says, and they clink plastic cups, the sound swallowed by the storm. As the night wears on, the girls drag blankets from their rooms, turning his space into a makeshift lounge. They play music from their phones, a mix of indie pop and old rock, and dance awkwardly in the small space, shoes slipping on the carpet. Owen, still in the borrowed clothes, feels the fabric move with him, the softness a stark contrast to his usual stiff jeans and hoodies. He catches a glimpse of himself in the dresser mirror, the grey t-shirt clinging slightly to his chest, the shorts revealing more of his legs than he's comfortable with, and yet there's a thrill in it, a secret, forbidden excitement. When they finally collapse, exhausted, Rachel tosses him an extra blanket. "You're one of us now, Harper," she says with a grin, and Scarlett adds, "Don't get too used to it." Jade, from her spot on the floor, murmurs, "You're doing better than you think." The words linger as they drift off, the storm a lullaby outside. Owen lies awake, the silk shorts cool against his skin, the t-shirt riding up slightly as he shifts. He thinks about the irony of it all, how a simple mistake has cracked open a door he never knew existed. The rain taps against the window, a rhythm that mirrors his racing thoughts. For the first time in years, he feels not just seen, but seen differently, and the weight of that realization is both terrifying and exhilarating. As sleep finally claims him, he wonders what other lines he might be willing to cross. The next morning, Seattle is still trapped under a relentless storm, the sky a churning mass of grey clouds spitting rain and wind. Roads are flooded, public transport halted, and the hotel feels like a ship adrift in a tempest. Owen wakes to the sound of thunder rattling the windows, still wrapped in Rachel's grey t-shirt and shorts, the fabric now a familiar weight against his skin. He checks his phone, no updates, no rescue from his wardrobe disaster. Another knock at the door, and the girls barge in, their energy undimmed by the weather. Rachel, hair pulled back in a messy bun, declares, "We're not sitting in these rooms all day. Time for improvised survival mode, Harper." Owen, still groggy and mortified, shakes his head. "You're kidding, right? Walk around hotel in women's clothes." "No way." His voice cracks, betraying the panic bubbling beneath his usual stoicism. The idea feels like a step too far, a line he's not ready to cross. But the girls are relentless. Scarlett, lounging against the doorframe with a smirk, counters, "What's your plan then? Play hermit until the storm clears. Or maybe you want to explain to the front desk why you're raiding their lost and found." Jade, quiet but firm, steps forward, holding a garment bag she's retrieved from her room. "It's just us, Owen. No one else will care." She pulls out an oversized dress in a flowing bohemian style, the fabric a deep teal with subtle gold threads catching the light. "Try this. It's loose, comfortable, might fit you better than you think." He stares at it, the dress swaying slightly in her hands, its hem brushing the carpet. The idea is absurd, humiliating, but the storm outside roars louder, sealing his fate. With a sigh, he takes the dress, the material soft and cool, like liquid silk. In the bathroom, he strips down, the mirror reflecting his hesitation. Slipping the dress over his head, he feels it cascade down, the hem stopping just above his knees. To his shock, it fits almost perfectly, the oversized cut skimming his frame without clinging too tightly. The fabric whispers against his skin, a sensation both foreign and strangely liberating. The girls crowd in as he emerges, their eyes wide with a mix of amusement and approval. Rachel claps her hands, delighted. "You look like you belong in a gallery opening." She grabs a makeup bag, her fingers deft as she dabs a light touch of mascara on his lashes and sweeps a hint of blush across his cheeks. "Just a blend-in," she assures him, but her grin suggests otherwise. Scarlett, ever the provocateur, hands him a thin headband to pull back his messy hair, and Jade adds a minimalist crossbody bag, its leather strap dangling. "For the full effect," she says, her voice low and steady. Standing before the mirror, Owen barely recognizes himself. The teal dress softens his angular frame, the makeup subtle but transformative, his stubble jaw now framed by neatly swept hair. At first, discomfort claws at him, his pulse races, his palms sweat, but then something shifts. There's a lightness, a release, as if the dress and the girl's playful confidence have stripped away a layer of his usual armor. He catches his reflection again, the image slightly blurred, like a dream version of himself, and for a fleeting moment, he feels free. Threshold crossed, Scarlett murmurs, catching his eye in the mirror, and he knows she's right. They venture out into the hotel, the plush carpet muffling their footsteps, the storm a distant roar beyond the glass doors. The lobby is quiet, save for a few stranded guests huddled near the fireplace. Owen feels every eye on him, his heart hammering, but the girls flank him like a protective shield. Rachel chats animatedly about the hotel's art installations. Scarlett tosses out sarcastic quips about the weather, and Jade walks beside him, her presence a quiet anchor. They explore the hotel's upper floors, the hallways lined with abstract paintings and sleek furniture. In a lounge area, Rachel demonstrates how to sit elegantly on a velvet chaise, her legs crossed at the ankles, and Owen mimics her, the dress shifting around his thighs in a way that feels both scandalous and thrilling. Scarlett snaps a photo on her phone, grinning. Blackmail material, Harper. Don't say I never gave you anything. But her tone is warm, and Owen finds himself laughing, a sound surprising even him. Jade notices his change, her sharp eyes catching the flicker of relief on his face. You're doing it, she says softly, almost to herself. Stepping out of your box. He doesn't respond, but her words linger, a truth he's not ready to admit. By the time they return to his room, the storm still rages, but something inside Owen has shifted. The dress, the makeup, the headband, they're more than a costume. They're a crack in the wall he's built around himself, a glimpse of a version of Owen he never knew existed. As he peels off the dress later, folding it carefully, he feels a pang of loss, as if shedding not just fabric, but a fleeting sense of possibility. The threshold isn't just crossed, it's shattered, leaving him on the brink of something unknown. The storm in Seattle has finally relented, leaving the city damp and glistening under a hesitant sun, but the four of them, Owen, Rachel, Scarlett, and Jade, are still confined to the luxurious confines of the hotel, its marble floors and crystal chandeliers a stark contrast to the chaos outside. They decide to explore further, turning the hotel into their playground. Owen, still wearing the oversized teal dress and minimal makeup from the day before, feels like a deer caught in headlights as they step into the grand lobby, its high ceilings echoing with the soft murmur of other guests. His heart pounds, every glance from a passing stranger a potential exposure, but the girls surround him with a protective, almost reckless confidence, their laughter and chatter a shield against his nerves. At first he's rigid, his movements stiff, the dress swishing awkwardly around his knees. But Rachel takes the lead, her arm linked through his as if they're old friends, her voice bright and distracting. Come on, Owen, act like you belong here, she whispers, her breath warm against his ear. Scarlett, trailing behind with a mischievous grin, quips, yeah, or at least pretend you're not about to bolt. Jade, quieter but no less commanding, adjusts a headband on his head with a gentle touch, her fingers brushing his forehead in a way that sends a shiver down his spine. In the lobby, surrounded by plush armchairs and the faint clink of coffee cups, Owen catches a moment of revelation. No one is looking at him. The concierge nods politely, a couple at the bar glances over without a second thought, and a group of tourists snaps photos of the decor, oblivious to his presence. They don't even see me, he murmurs, half to himself, and the realization hits like a wave of relief, loosening the knot in his chest. For the first time, he feels invisible in the best way, free from judgment, free from the weight of his usual self. Emboldened, they move to the hotel's breakfast buffet, a lavish spread of pastries, fruit, and omelettes under warm lights. Rachel, ever the teacher, launches into a playful masterclass on manners, her fork poised like a conductor's baton. Hold it like this, she instructs, demonstrating with exaggerated elegance, and when you laugh, Tilt your head back just a little, not too much, or you'll look like you're auditioning for a soap opera. She shows him how to fluff his hair with a casual flick, the gesture's so natural it makes his cheeks flush. And smile, she adds, her own grin infectious. Not that tight-lipped thing you do, just let it happen. Scarlett, of course, can't resist adding her own spice. As Owen fumbles with a croissant, she leans in, her voice low and teasing. If anyone asks, we'll say you're our friend from Austin named Olivia, right? Total fashionista, terrible at tech. Her words are a jab, but there's a warmth in her eyes that makes him smirk back, the tension easing. He takes a bite of the croissant, the buttery flakes crumbling on his lips, and for once he doesn't care about the mess. He laughs a real, unguarded laugh, and the sound surprises him, echoing off the marble walls. The girls snap photos on their phones, capturing him mid-laugh, the dress catching the light, his makeup still subtle but striking. For memory's sake, Rachel promises, but Scarlett adds, and blackmail, obviously. Don't worry, it's going in the private album, no corporate leaks. Owen rolls his eyes, but he's grinning, the weight of their camaraderie lifting him higher than he expected. He even tosses back a playful jab at Scarlett's obsession with black coffee, only a mop gas and a playful shove. As the morning stretches into afternoon, they wander the hotel's spa area, its steam rooms and lounges empty save for them. Owen feels the fabric of the dress against his skin, the way it moves with him, no longer a burden but a strange kind of armor. He adjusts the headband absent-mindedly, mimicking Rachel's hair flick, and catches Jade watching him with that same piercing look. You're getting good at this, she says quietly, and he feels a flush of pride mixed with something deeper validation, maybe, or the thrill of stepping into a role he never imagined. By evening, back in his room, Owen stands before the mirror again, the dress still on, the makeup smudged but intact. He expects to feel humiliated, exposed, but instead, there's a curious freedom, a shedding of the rigid mask he's worn for years. Maybe I've been hiding behind it too long, he thinks, the words forming unbidden in his mind. The reflection staring back isn't the Owen of San Antonio, hunched over a keyboard, but someone softer, bolder, more alive. The threshold he crossed yesterday feels less like a boundary and more like a gateway, and as he drifts off, the girl's laughter still ringing in his ears, he wonders what other roles he might be ready to play. By the third day, the storm has finally broken, and Seattle emerges under a pale, hopeful sun, the city streets glistening with puddles and new possibilities. The girls Rachel, Scarlett, and Jade are buzzing with energy, their eyes sparkling with mischief as they corner Owen in his hotel room. Come on, Harper, Rachel urges, her voice bright as she adjusts her jacket. The weather's clear, and we're not spending another day cooped up. Let's hit the city. Owen, still clutching the familiarity of his borrowed clothes, now a mix of Rachel's t-shirts and Jade's oversized pieces, hesitates. The hotel has been a safe bubble, but venturing out feels like stepping into a spotlight he's not ready for. You want me to go out there like this? He asks, gesturing to the flowy bohemian dress he's been wearing, its soft fabric now a second skin. His voice cracks, betraying the knot of fear in his chest. But the girls are unrelenting. Scarlett, leaning against the doorframe with her signature smirk, quips, "What's the worst that could happen? Someone mistakes you for a fashion icon." They settle on a local outdoor art festival, far from the tourist traps, a hidden gem in a leafy park where local artists display sculptures, paintings, and installations under a canopy of trees. Jade, ever the planner, assures him, it's low-key, no pressure. Just us and some creatives. Seeing their determination and feeling the pull of their infectious excitement, Owen relents, his heart thudding like a drum. Back in the room, they orchestrate a full upgrade. Rachel pulls out a light boho dress in cream and lavender, its delicate floral pattern fluttering as she holds it up. "This is perfect," she declares, her fingers deft as she pairs it with oversized sunglasses and a sheer scarf that drapes elegantly over his shoulders. Jade adds a pair of strappy sandals, the leather soft against his feet, and Scarlett tosses him a wide-brimmed hat for extra drama. They work like a team. Their touch is quick but intimate, Rachel brushing his hair back, Jade adjusting the scarf with a careful hand, Scarlett teasing, "You're practically a muse now, Harper." Dressed and trembling, Owen catches his reflection in the full-length mirror. The cream dress skims his frame, the scarf adding a touch of mystery, the sunglasses hiding the nervous flicker in his eyes. For a moment, he doesn't recognize himself, a figure both familiar and alien, caught between fear and fascination. The fabric brushes his legs as he moves, the sandals clicking softly on the tile, and he feels a thrill, sharp and electric, like standing on the edge of a cliff. Stepping out into the park, the festival buzzes with life. Artists sketching under tents, children chasing bubbles, the scent of street food mingling with the crisp air. Owen's initial panic is visceral, the crowd, the glances, the possibility of discovery. His palms sweat, his breath shallow, as a group of hipsters strolls by, their eyes skimming over him without pause. But slowly the fear ebbs. No one stares, no one points. To them, he's just another festival goer, another girl in a sea of thousands, lost in the swirl of creativity. The festival pulls him in. He lingers at a towering sculpture of twisted metal, its edges glinting in the sunlight, and Rachel snaps a photo, capturing his hesitant smile. They join a ceramics workshop where Owen's hands, usually steady on a keyboard, fumble with clay under the instructor's guidance. The cool, wet earth squishes between his fingers, leaving streaks on his dress, but he laughs a real, unguarded sound as Rachel and Scarlett compete to make the ugliest pot. He buys a small silver crescent moon pendant from a vendor, its weight a tangible reminder of this strange, surreal day. By evening, they collapse at an outdoor cafe, its tables scattered with fairy lights and the hum of conversation. The girls order wine, and Owen, still in the boho ensemble, sips a cider, the glass cool against his lips. The dress feels lighter now, the scarf a familiar weight, and he's surprised by how natural it feels to be here, surrounded by strangers who see only what he's become. Scarlett, swirling her wine with a thoughtful look, suddenly breaks the silence. "You know, Harper, you've become more yourself the moment you stopped being yourself." Her words hang in the air, sharp and clear, cutting through the noise of the cafe. Owen freezes, the cider halfway to his lips, his mind racing. The phrase burrows into him, a truth he's been circling but never dared to name. He thinks of San Antonio, of his solitary nights and rigid routines, and then of the dress, the laughter, the freedom. His throat tightens, but he nods, a small private acknowledgement. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, and the girls chatter on, but Owen's mind is elsewhere, replaying Scarlett's words like a mantra. The pendant dangles at his collarbone, the dress shifts with each breath, and for the first time, he wonders if this version of himself, the one who steps outside the lines, might be the truest he's ever been. Late that night, as the storm-weary city of Seattle hums with the promise of clearer skies, a notification pings on Owen's phone. Their return flight is delayed, pushed to the next day. He sits on the edge of his hotel bed, the boho dress from the festival still draped over a chair, its cream and lavender fabric catching the dim light like a whisper of the day's adventures. The news feels like a gift, a strange extension of time he didn't expect, but for what purpose, he can't yet grasp. His mind races, a jumble of images, clay-smeared hands, Scarlett's sharp words, the weight of the crescent moon pendant against his chest. It's as if the universe is giving him one last chance to figure something out, but the riddle eludes him. Back in his room, he strips off the dress, the fabric sliding against his skin with a softness he's come to expect, but now finds himself reluctant to let go. He folds it carefully, the folds crisp and deliberate, and lays it on the bed like a relic. Slipping back into his own clothes, faded jeans, a stiff button-down, he feels the difference immediately. The denim is rough, the shirt constricting, each movement heavier, more deliberate. In the mirror, his reflection returns. The Owen of San Antonio, stubbled and guarded, but something in his eyes has shifted, a flicker of something brighter, something new. The change isn't in his face, but in the way he holds himself, the way he sees the man staring back. Sleep doesn't come easily. He lies awake, the hotel room silent save for the occasional creak of settling beams, his mind replaying the festival, the cafe, Scarlett's piercing observation. The dress on the chair seems to pulse with possibility, a silent challenge he's not sure he's ready to accept. Morning brings a different kind of energy. At breakfast in the hotel's sunlit dining room, the girls are waiting for him, their faces alight with conspiratorial grins. Rachel, ever the ringleader, slides a sleek metallic suitcase with embossed detailing across the table toward him. "Open it," she says, her eyes dancing with anticipation. Scarlett, leaning back in her chair with a smirk, adds, "Go on, Harper. Don't keep us in suspense." Heart thudding, Owen unzips the suitcase, the metallic zipper hissing like a secret being revealed. Inside, he finds a treasure trove. Several sets of women's clothing, flowing skirts, soft blouses, a pair of low-heeled shoes in a rich burgundy, delicate jewelry, and even a small makeup kit with brushes still wrapped in plastic. At the very top, a handwritten note in Rachel's loopy script reads, "In case you ever want to not be yourself again, we're here." R.S.J. The words hit him like a warm wave, his chest tightening with a mix of gratitude and awe. He clutches the note, the paper crinkling under his fingers, and smiles a real, unguarded smile that feels like sunlight breaking through clouds. The girls watch him, their expressions a mix of pride and mischief. Jade, usually so reserved, reaches out to squeeze his hand, her touch brief but firm. "You've changed, Owen," she says softly, her voice carrying the weight of truth. Rachel beams, and even Scarlett's smirk softens into something almost tender. "Welcome to the club, Alicia," she teases, but there's no bite in it, only warmth. Boarding the plane later, the metallic suitcase in hand, Owen feels a shift. He doesn't stow it in the overhead bin like the rest of his luggage. Instead, he keeps it close, the handle cool and solid under his grip. As they taxi down the runway, Scarlett winks at him from across the aisle. "Well, Alicia, ready to fly home?" she asks, her voice low but playful. For the first time on this trip, Owen laughs not out of politeness or discomfort, but from pure, unfiltered joy. The sound fills the cabin, drawing a few curious glances, but he doesn't care. It's a release, a declaration, a bridge between who he was and who he might become. In the air, the clouds outside the window swirl like his thoughts, a tempest of possibilities. He thinks of San Antonio, of his quiet life and the mask he's worn for so long, and then of Seattle, of the dress, a festival, the girls' unwavering support. The suitcase beside him isn't just luggage. It's a lifeline, a promise, a reminder that he doesn't have to stay the same. He runs his fingers over the metallic surface, the texture grounding him, and wonders what Alicia might do next. The plane climbs higher, the city shrinking below, but inside, Owen feels larger, lighter, as if he's finally found the courage to step into a story he never knew he could write. Back home in San Antonio, Owen unpacks his travel luggage with the mechanical precision of habit, his fingers moving through shirts and socks as if nothing has changed. The metallic suitcase from the girls, however, he doesn't shove into the depths of his closet as he initially planned. Instead, he places it deliberately beside his bookshelf, its gleaming surface catching the light, a silent testament that his story isn't over. It sits there, a beacon of possibility, its presence a constant nudge against the routine that threatens to swallow him whole. A week passes, and the office routine crashes back like a tidal wave. Code reviews, endless meetings, the hum of fluorescent lights. But something inside Owen resists the pull of normalcy, a restless energy that won't let him settle. It's a whisper of Seattle, of the dress, of Scarlett's piercing words, and it gnaws at him late at night when the house is silent except for his father's snoring and Laurie's music drifting from her room. One evening, scrolling mindlessly online, he stumbles across a flyer pinned to a local community board. Open performance night at the Velvet Lounge. All identities welcome. The words hit him like a spark, igniting a curiosity that overrides his usual caution. The next night, he goes not to perform, but to watch, to dip a toe into a world he barely understands. The club is a revelation, a warm, dimly lit space with velvet curtains and a stage bathed in soft, colorful lights. The audience is diverse, cheering wildly as drag queens, poets, and musicians take the stage, their confidence electric. Owen, dressed in his usual jeans and hoodie, feels a pang of that old lightness from Seattle, the memory of the festival and the girls' laughter surging back. He returns the following week, then the next, each visit a secret ritual, a pilgrimage to absorb the energy without committing. He sits in the back, nursing a beer, watching the performers with a mix of awe and envy. Their ease, their freedom, it's what he tasted briefly in Seattle, and now it haunts him, a ghost he can't shake. Then, one humid Thursday, the club's host, a flamboyant figure in sequins named Maxine, grins into the microphone. "We've got a newbie tonight, folks, someone brave enough to step into the spotlight for the first time. Let's give them some love." The crowd roars, and Owen's heart slams against his ribs like a caged animal. For a moment, he freezes, the weight of expectation pressing down. But then, from the shadows of the audience, a voice cuts through the noise. "Alicia Harper, get up there." He turns, and there they are, Rachel, Scarlett, and Jade, their faces lit with excitement and mischief. They've driven down from Seattle, coordinated this moment without his knowledge, their presence a tidal wave of support. Rachel waves, Scarlett winks, and Jade nods encouragingly, her eyes steady and sure. The warmth of their faith washes over him, a push he can't resist. Slowly, heart pounding, he stands, the room holding its breath. There's a beat of silence, the spotlight shifting, searching. Then, with trembling hands, he grabs the metallic suitcase from where he'd stashed it under his seat. In the dim backstage area, he transforms, slipping into a flowing skirt and blouse from the suitcase, the fabric soft and familiar against his skin. He applies makeup from the kit, his fingers shaky but determined, smudging eyeliner and dusting blush until he sees her. Alicia Harper, confident and radiant, the woman he glimpsed in Seattle now fully realized. The low-heeled shoes click softly as he steps forward, each movement deliberate, each breath a battle against fear. The curtain parts and the light floods him, warm and golden. The audience gasps, then erupts in applause, a wave of sound that crashes over him, carrying away his doubts. He stands there, Alicia Harper in every line of her posture, the skirt swaying, the makeup framing eyes that shine with a mix of nerves and exhilaration. He smiles a wide, radiant smile that feels like a release, a declaration. The crowd cheers louder, their energy feeding his, and for the first time, he feels the full weight of freedom, a heady mix of vulnerability and power. He doesn't sing or dance, he simply exists, a presence on the stage, and that's enough. The applause swells, a thunderous affirmation, and he knows this is his new stage, his new life. Behind the curtains, Rachel, Scarlett, and Jade watch, their faces alight with pride. Rachel blows a kiss, Scarlett gives a thumbs up, and Jade nods, mouthing, "We knew you'd do it." Their support is a lifeline, a reminder that he's not alone in this transformation. The final image lingers. Alicia Harper turns back to the audience, her smile a beacon of confidence and happiness, the lights catching the sparkle in her eyes and the shimmer of her outfit. The crowd rises, clapping, shouting, and in that moment, Owen or Alicia knows she's found her place, not just on this stage but in the world. The curtain falls, but the story doesn't end, it begins anew, with every step, every laugh, every fearless choice.